Imagine being so trusted, so indispensable, that you become the right-hand man to a king. A man who knew Henry Tudor as a boy, helped plan the invasion that put him on the throne, and then became one of the most powerful administrators in the land. Well, that was Sir Reginald or Reynold Bray. On this day in Tudor history, the 5th of August 1503, Sir Reginald Bray died at the age of about 63. You may not have heard his name before, but he played a key role in securing the Tudor dynasty and helping King Henry VII keep control of it. Hi, I'm author and historian Claire Ridgway, and today I want to shine the spotlight on a man who worked quietly behind the scenes during one of the most turbulent transitions in English history. Let's dive into the life of Sir Reginald Bray. We don't know much about Bray's childhood. He was probably born in the early 1440s in Worcestershire, but by his 20s he was already working in an incredibly influential role. In 1465 he was appointed Receiver General to Lady Margaret Beaufort, mother of the future King Henry VII, and he was also working for her second husband, Sir Henry Stafford. This meant Bray wasn't just handling the accounts, he was travelling widely, managing their estates and legal affairs and becoming a trusted household figure. Even after Stafford's death in 1471, Bray remained close to Margaret. He also worked with her third husband, Thomas Lord Stanley. But his connection to Margaret's son is especially interesting. Bray knew Henry Tudor when he was just a boy. In fact, he was the one sent with money so that a 12-year-old Henry could buy himself a bow and arrows. The next year, he accompanied the young Henry to meet the then King Henry VI. So Bray wasn't just a servant, he was part of the trusted inner circle. Now, fast forward to 1483, Richard III is king, and Bray is accused of plotting rebellion. He's pardoned, officially, but he'd been acting as a go-between for Margaret Beaufort and Bishop John Morton, and was said to be working alongside names like Giles Daubeny and Richard Guilford. It didn't stop there. Bray was one of the men who helped fund and plan Henry Tudor's invasion of England in 1485. The very rebellion that would lead to the Battle of Bosworth Field and the founding of the Tudor dynasty. Not surprisingly, when Henry became king, Bray was rewarded for his loyalty. In September 1485, he was appointed Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster, a hugely important role in which he managed the duchy's estates and assets, essentially a vast private income for the monarch. He also served as Under-Treasurer of the Exchequer and briefly as Treasurer of England. But that's not all. Bray oversaw customs revenues, was a Knight of the King's Body, sat on the royal and legal councils, was a member of the bench and served as the King's Spymaster. He was everywhere. Perhaps most controversially, he led the Council Learned in the Law, a small and feared committee tasked with extracting every last drop of the King's feudal rights. That council helped swell Henry VII's coffers, but it didn't make Bray or his colleagues many friends. Some say Bray was even an architect, involved in the design of Henry VII's chapel at Westminster Abbey, St George's Chapel at Windsor, where he's buried, and Great Malvern Priory. He certainly helped fund their building. When he died in 1503, Sir Reginald Bray was still working for Margaret Beaufort as her Receiver General, just as he'd started almost 40 years earlier. He may not have had any children with his wife Catherine Hussey, but what a legacy he left. Not only those buildings, but the fact that he was one of the most influential and enduring figures of early Tudor rule. So next time you think of the Tudors as just kings and queens, remember men like Sir Reginald Bray, the ones pulling the strings behind the throne. Thanks for joining me today, and if you found this glimpse into the hidden machinery of the Tudor court interesting, then please do give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to browse my channel for more behind the scenes figures of Tudor history. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.